Hello, hello, high level listeners. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got another review video for you from season 1 of our Advanced English podcast with even more fast paced dialogues to help you improve your listening and your speaking skills with naturally spoken English. We got a lot of comments and feedback from our season 1 episodes, and most of you were really wanting to hear some of this language and these topics in a more conversational tone. So here we go. Today's video will focus on episodes 5-8 of season 1. So if you haven't watched them yet, they're great episodes, if we do say so ourselves, and I think you'll really benefit from all the vocabulary. If you've joined us as a member on YouTube, you'll get the PDF transcript to go with this video and all of our season 1 episodes. And if you've downloaded our season 1 study pack, you'll also receive these videos, transcripts, and even more. Get more information in the description below.
And if this is your first time on High Level Listening, welcome. We're really glad that you're here and want to study with us. My name is Mark. I'm a teacher from the UK, and I'm the British voice here on High Level Listening. And yes, if you haven't seen all of our vocabulary episodes yet, we have 20 advanced and upper intermediate videos with tons of high-level phrases and expressions from both British English and American English perspectives. So for the American voice, there is Kat.
Hi there, I'm Kat, an American English teacher from the United States. Together with Mark, we are High Level Listening, a fun and interesting way to improve and level up your intermediate and advanced English with 2 English teachers from different parts of the world.
So here's what we'll be doing in these kind of review videos. We'll read our scripts from the original episodes. Then you can listen to a fast-paced dialogue between the both of us. After that, just like normal, we'll break down the conversation, focusing on pronunciation, connected speech, blending, speaking tips, listening tips, and much more. So first, we will read our scripts from episode 5. Episode 5 was about evening time and preparing dinner at home. Kat will read her script first in her American accent.
On my way home from work, I can easily swing by the local grocery store. I try to pick up fresh ingredients, maybe some beef or chicken, and pair it with some sort of greens or veggies. Once I get home, I usually turn the TV on with some music or something in the background. Then I unpack everything and start figuring out what on earth I'm doing. Once I get into it, it feels good to take the time to make a nice homemade dinner, especially when I try out new recipes every now and again. Of course, sometimes I am just not really feeling it and we order something for delivery. Okay, so I shared my American accent and Mark will go ahead and share his British accent.
On my way back from work, I usually pop into the local supermarket. I grab whatever catches my eye, often some fish or fresh-looking veg. Then, once I'm back home, I'll usually just chuck everything in the oven and try to decompress a little bit. Then I'll probably sit down in front of the telly, enjoy my meal, and relax a bit. It's not always like that, obviously. If it's Friday or if I've had a rough day, I might skip all the cooking and order a takeaway instead.
Right, excellent. So now that the scripts are fresh in your mind, this is part of our review of season 1. If this is your first time here on High Level Listening, don't worry if you didn't understand all the vocabulary from these scripts. These are reviews from our season 1, episode 5, and you can find all the vocabulary and expressions in better detail in that episode.
So now we'll go on to the naturally spoken dialogue. This dialogue would be a quite common conversation between 2 roommates or between a couple. The first listen won't have any captions on the screen, but try your best to listen closely.
Think you can swing by the store on your way home?
Sure, I can easily pop in. Do you want me to pick you something up?
I don't know. I was thinking something easy, maybe beef, onions, peppers, whatever looks fresh.
Oh yeah, we can just chop that up and chuck it in the oven. I've had a pretty rough day, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I really just want to be home and decompress a bit.
Okay, so now we'll break down the conversation line by line. Kat had the first line, so she can go first.
Think you can swing by the store on your way home? Hey, Think you can swing by the store on your way home? So I've started with think you can do something for me. This is a good way to introduce something. I need something done. Think you can do this? Think you can do that? Now, the whole sentence should be, do you think that you can do this? And in naturally spoken English, we've dropped the do, we've dropped the you, and we don't necessarily need the word that. So, do you think you can? You think you can? Think you can. So, think you can do something. The word can, C-A-N, sounds like it would be a very American word. Can, C-A-N. That American A, it feels like it's all the way up in your nose. But when we talk nice and naturally, nice and quickly, sometimes the word can, yes, I can, no, I can't. The word can becomes just an extra little word. It's not as important in the sentence. So, think you can. Think you can. It almost sounds like K-I-N. Think you can do this for me? Think you can swing by the store on your way home? Swing by the store. The most important word in this sentence is the verb, right? Can is just a helping verb, but think you can swing by the store. We give the most emphasis on that verb. Think you can swing by the store on your way home? On your way home. Your, Y-O-U-R, your often turns into your, kind of like a Y-E-R, your. On your way home. On your way home. All right, Mark, do you want to help us out with the second line?
Sure, I can easily pop in. Do you want me to pick something up? So I did the same thing as Kat. Sure, I can easily. The word can becomes much shorter and it's very hard to catch. I can. Sure, I can easily pop in. Sure, I can easily pop in. So can becomes can, only in the positive. Also, the word can and easily blend, and it sounds like can easily. Can easily. The last letter N joins the next word. Can easily. I can easily pop in. In our previous video, we did a lot of focus on questions. One of the examples was did you becoming j. And here I said do you, and the sound is the same. Do you want to pick something up? Do you want? Do you want? Do you want? Do you want me to pick something up? So, do you in the present sounds j. Did you in the past is the same sound, j. So, now, do you want me? Do you want me? Did you want me? Do you want me? It's exactly the same. So, it's nice and easy. I think that's mostly typical of British English only. Would Americans pronounce it differently?
I'd say, like, do you wanna, do you want me? You want me? Do you want me? Dieu. Like it's more of a dieu. Almost sounds like a French word. Dieu. No, we kind of do it too. We kind of do it too. I hear it. I hear it. Sometimes even I'm surprised by the way that we speak so naturally.
Okay. What was your third line in the dialogue?
I don't know. I was thinking something easy, maybe beef, onions, peppers, whatever looks fresh. So I did ask you to swing by the store, but I wasn't actually sure what I needed you to get. So, this is an easy filler word if you don't know what you're about to say. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking, we could use the word, I thought about this, but I was thinking because, stuff for dinner, I was thinking, kind of didn't finish my thought, really. I was thinking something easy. Something easy. Oftentimes in English, ing, something, turns into something. So if it feels like someone is saying something, it's actually something, but we're dropping off the G. That's very common in spoken English. Something easy. Something easy. Maybe beef, onions, peppers, whatever looks fresh. Whatever. Whatever you choose. Whatever you want. Whatever looks good. Whatever is there. Whatever. It almost sounds like a D sound. Whatever. 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 All right, Mark, keep us going.
Oh yeah, I can just chop that up and chuck it in the oven. I've had a pretty rough day, honestly. So again with can, we're making that word very short. We can just. We can just. We can just. It almost sounds like I'm saying weekend, but it's we can. We can just. We mentioned this in the last review as well. The letter T, especially if it's at the end of a word, likes to disappear when we talk quickly. So just becomes just. Just. We can just. We can just. We can just. Ending on the S makes it easy to go into the next word. Chop that up. We can just chop that up. And again, when you have two words together, and the second word starts with a vowel, the last letter of the first word likes to join it. So chop that up. That up becomes that up. That up. When I say it really quickly, the T becomes a D. That up. That up. Chop that up. Yeah, we can just chop that up. Same again. Chuck it. The last letter of the first word joins the next. Chuck it. Chuck it. We can just chop that up and chuck it in the oven. I've had a pretty rough day, honestly. I've had a. Had and a connect. Hadda. Hadda. I've had a pretty rough day, honestly. I've had a pretty rough day, honestly. So, Kat had the last line of the dialogue. Any tips about that one?
Yeah, me too. I really just want to be home and decompress a bit. All right, I like this sentence. I really just want to be home. Really, I know for pronunciation, really, we make that E sound. But if I'm talking a bit faster, it kind of turns into an I sound. I really, R-I-L-L-Y. It sounds like an I sound. I really just like Mark said, that T turns into it just goes away. It just disappears. Just want to be changes to wanna be. Wanna be. I really just want to be home. I really just want to be home. Wanna be. Now, be careful with this word. I hear sometimes my students are really trying hard to use it and they really, really like it. You know, give that emphasis for really. They really like that. But be careful when you use it with he and she, because we don't say he wanna, she wanna. We say he wants to, she wants to. I want to go with you. You want to go with me. Let's go together. We want to go together. Okay, so we can use wanna for a few different pronouns, but not he, she, or it. And then finally, just the way that we push all these words together, decompress a bit. D means to remove. Okay, so if we compress and then remove it, decompress, compress a bit, sabit. Decompress a bit. Yeah, me too. I really just want to be home and decompress a bit. Decompress a bit. It's almost like we've taken the D, compress a bit, and made it one sound there. All right, excellent.
Okay, so are you ready to listen to the dialogue for a second time? It should be easier to understand now that we've gone through some of the sentences slowly and then quickly. So listen again. Here we go.
Think you can swing by the store on your way home?
Sure, I can easily pop in. Do you want me to pick something up?
Um, I don't know. I was thinking something easy like maybe beef, onions, peppers, whatever looks fresh.
Oh, yeah, we can just chop that up and chuck it in the oven. I've had a pretty rough day, honestly.
Ugh, yeah, me too. I really just want to be home and decompress a bit. Okay, well done, everybody. So we practiced some listening skills. Are you ready for some speaking practice? I know you are. I know you can do it. If you want to practice your speaking, you can start by responding to my questions. We'll leave a short pause for you to respond, and don't worry, we'll leave the captions for you. Now, it's okay. We're going to leave a little bit of a longer pause than we did in the last video, just to give you a little extra time, but not too long because this is naturally spoken English. It's going to go kind of quick. All right, so you can respond to me. I'll go ahead and start. Hey, think you can swing by the store on your way home? I don't know. I was thinking something easy, maybe beef, onions, peppers, whatever looks fresh. Yeah, me too. I really just want to be home and decompress a bit.
Okay, so now it's time to switch roles and it's your turn to ask the questions. So you'll start the speaking practice this time. The captions will be ready for you again. Let's go. Sure, I can easily pop in. Do you want me to pick something up? Oh, yeah, we can just chop that up and chuck it in the oven. I've had a pretty rough day, honestly. Okay, nicely done. Well done. Feel free to repeat those exercises as many times as you like. You can go back, you can listen to the dialogue again, you can just do the practice bit again. You might need to do it a couple of times to get quick enough and make the same blended sounds as us. But yeah, practice makes perfect. So we'll go on to the next episode of the review, which is episode 6. And that was about evening time and preparing dinner. So Kat will go first with her American scripts.
I'll be honest, after a long day at work, after getting dinner ready, I just want to plop down on the couch and unwind a bit. If it's been a particularly long day, I'll probably just binge watch a couple of episodes of a show I'm watching. Maybe sometimes find myself double screening, scrolling on my phone while my show is playing. When I start to get a little tired, I'll get started on my evening routine. You know, the usual, taking a shower, washing my face, brushing my teeth, etc. Even if someone invites me out, going out on weeknights isn't really my thing, so I usually wrap up the night with a book before trying to get to bed early. All right, and now here's Mark with his British script.
My time in the evening is all about taking it easy. I usually spend a fair few hours watching telly to catch up on my favourite series or see what's going on in the world. Although, truth be told, a lot of the time I'm just sitting there mindlessly scrolling on my phone or looking at memes. But if the day at work has been particularly hectic, a quiet night in is just what I need. When I eventually get into bed, I may even read a few pages of a book before nodding off to sleep.
Okay, so that was the review of our season 1 episode. And if you're thinking, wow, I didn't understand most of the vocabulary there, don't worry. We go into lots of detail in season 1, episode 6, and you can find all of the well-explained vocabulary and expressions in that other video.
Okay, so next up is the dialogue based on that same topic. I could easily see this as a conversation between two friends talking or texting each other about their plans or about what they did in the evening or a TV show they've been watching. So like before, the first dialogue won't have any captions. Just try and listen closely and catch as much as you can. Hiya, have you got anything going on tonight?
Honestly, not a lot. Planning on just plopping myself down on the couch and binge watching a few episodes.
Oh, did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about?
Yeah, I did. I'll be honest, I may have been double screening a bit during the slower parts.
Yeah, I nodded off in the middle, but the ending was amazing.
Okay, so now let's break down this conversation, highlighting some interesting speaking and pronunciation tips so you can improve your own speaking and listening skills. Let's start with Mark and his first line.
I started with a question. Hiya, have you got anything going on tonight? So, have you got? Again, this is a very common British English question. Have you got means do you have? But we say it so often, have you got blends to have you got? Have you got? Have becomes the letter V, you, and V connect. So, view, have you, view, have you got? Have you got? Have you got anything going on tonight? Going on is another example of how we take the last letter of the word and connect it to the next preposition. And like Kat said earlier, we drop the G too. So it's N joining on. So going on is going on. Going on. Have you got anything going on? Going on is happening. I'm basically asking, do you have any plans tonight? Have you got anything going on tonight? Okay, Kat replied in the next line of the dialogue. Do you have any tips for that one?
Honestly, not a lot. I mean, I do have tips, but I'm reading the script. Honestly, not a lot. Planning on just plopping myself down on the couch and binge watching a few episodes. Honestly, not a lot. Not a lot. The full phrase would be, I do not have a lot of anything going on. So, have you got anything going on? No, not a lot going on right now. I do not have a lot going on, which is really weird. We dropped a lot of those words. Not a lot. Not a lot going on right now. Not a lot of plans. Nah, not a lot. The NOT, especially in American English, but Mark was mentioning he does this as well. The T going into that A, not a lot. That sounds so British when I say it like that. Not a lot. Not a lot. And instead of saying not a lot, it sounds so British. Not a lot. That T is just makes us stop. Okay, so the T, instead of saying not a lot, we just stop the sound. Stop the sound. Not a lot. Not a lot. But I don't even make the T sound with my mouth. Not a lot. Not a lot. So that T just stops that sound very quickly. The next one, planning on just doing this. We forgot two words here. I am planning. It's very common in naturally spoken English to drop off that subject, but we even forgot a little piece of the verb too. Planning on this, planning on that. Not a lot of plans, not a lot going on. I'm doing something boring at home. Planning on just plopping myself down on the couch and binge watching a few episodes. Plopping myself down on the couch and binge watching a few episodes. It's quite common when we have two things going on and it's connected with the word and that we say on the couch and doing this. That and sometimes turns into just a little N. It's barely a connecting word, putting them together. Honestly, not a lot. Planning on just plopping myself down on the couch and watching, binge watching a few episodes. Here you go, Mark. Continue on to the next one.
Oh, did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about? So I asked Kat another question. Did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about? Did you get that? Did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about? So, like in the previous dialogue, do you became j. Here, did you? J. It's the same. So, did you get? Did you get? Did you get? And just like Kat was mentioning, the T can transform into a D, especially when the D is connecting with the following word. So, get a chance. Get a chance. Get a chance. So, did you get a chance? Did you get a chance? It's very fast. Oh, did you get a chance? Means, were you able? Did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about? Again, we have the last letter of the word connecting with the next with show, I. Show why? That show why? Did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about? So there's also one more do you. There's one more j sound. It's the D connecting to you. Told you. Told you. Told you. Often when a dy sound connects, it becomes the letter J. This is also happening in did you and j. Told you. Told you about. So altogether, oh, did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about? So J's everywhere. Okay, and then what was your reply to that question?
So Mark asked me a question. He said, did you? Did you? Jew. Now, even though the pronunciation for do you and did you is very similar, he told me about something. So I know he's talking in the past. So my answer is either yes, I did or no, I didn't. Remember that we do not use the word watch. Okay, so I wouldn't respond with yes, I watched. No, I didn't watch. We could say, yeah, I watched it. Or no, I didn't have a chance to watch it. But the simplest answer, yeah, I did. Did you get a chance? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. I'll be honest, I may have been double screening a bit during the slower parts. So with my answer, yeah, I did, I said, ooh, I'll be honest. Meaning I'm about to tell you kind of a secret or something. I may have been double screening a bit. I may have been double screening. Now, double screening is what I was doing, okay? I was double screening. I may or might have been doing this, okay? But may have been, may have been. Ooh, I may have been double screening a bit. I may have been, I might have been, I might have been double screening a bit. All right, do you want to finish up our last script line here?
Yeah, I nodded off in the middle, but the ending was amazing. So yeah, I nodded off in the middle, but the ending was amazing. So yes, I agree with Kat. Some parts of the film or the show were slow and not exciting, so I nodded off. I went to sleep. Nodded off is another example where the last letter joins the next word of the preposition. So nodded off. Nodded off. The last letter D joins off. Doff. I nodded off. So nodded is the past tense because I watched the series earlier. I nodded off in the middle. We talked about this in the previous review as well. The word the. Super important word, but very easy to miss, especially when we say in the. In the. In the. In the. The TH almost disappears. The N is the strongest sound. I nodded off in the middle. In the middle. In the previous episode, I said something like in the north. In the. So it's in the, but it doesn't sound like the. It's in the. So I nodded off in the middle. That's interesting because the next part of my phrase is the ending was amazing. So in that case, the is quite clear and sounds like you're used to. The reason it's a long the is because ending starts with a vowel. So it's the ending. The ending. And again, it's changing, right? The ending. Like Y-E. Yending. The ending. The ending was amazing. So yeah, I nodded off in the middle, but the ending was amazing. Okay, so now we've broken down the dialogue completely. I think you'll understand more when you hear it again now. Hiya, have you got anything going on tonight?
Honestly, not a lot. Planning on just plopping myself down on the couch and binge watching a few episodes.
Oh, did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about?
Yeah, I did. I'll be honest, I may have been double screening a bit during the slower parts.
Yeah. I nodded off in the middle, but the ending was amazing.
Okay, so are you ready for some speaking practice? If you want to practice your speaking skills, you can respond to Mark's questions. That means that I'll be quiet, you'll be speaking my part. We'll leave you a short pause for you to respond, and don't worry, we'll leave the captions on for you.
Hiya, have you got anything going on tonight? Oh, did you get a chance to watch that show I told you about? Yeah, I nodded off in the middle, but the ending was amazing. Okay, so now it's your turn to ask the questions. You'll start the speaking practice this time. Ready?
Honestly, not a lot. Planning on just plopping myself down on the couch and binge watching a few episodes. Yeah, I did. I'll be honest, I may have been double screening a bit during the slower part.
Well done. You made it to the end of episode 6. 2 more to go. The next one, of course, is episode 7. We'll move on to episode 7, which was about taking your kids to school or doing the school run. Kat will read her script from that episode first.
Honestly, taking my kids to school in the morning isn't too bad, even with two kids at two different schools. My oldest is in middle school, and my youngest is still in elementary school. And since their schools are actually pretty close together, I can drop off my oldest first, then drop my youngest off right around the corner. Sometimes the car line gets a bit long, especially if we're a little late. But ideally, we leave the house around 6:45, and I get them both to school by 7:30, so I can get myself to work on time before 8. Okay, now you'll hear Mark's perspective and his British script.
Our school runs are always a bit manic when we're getting the kids ready for school. My oldest is at secondary, while the younger is in primary. We pile into the car and set off at about 8:15. Both of their schools are only a short drive away, but we try to leave early because there's a lot of traffic, since everyone else is on their school runs or commuting as well. I tend to drop off my oldest first, then my youngest afterwards, and then I head off to work. Okay, so those are both our scripts from episode 7. There's lots of useful vocabulary in there. If you would like a refresher about some of those phrases and expressions, you can check out episode 7, Taking Your Kids to School.
Now we're on to the naturally spoken dialogue. This conversation feels like a very common one you'd have between you and another parent. Maybe you're talking about your kids and you're discussing what time you drop them off at school, or your school schedule. Let's listen to the dialogue. This first listen won't have any captions on it, so try your best to listen closely. Morning. Feels super early today for drop off, huh?
Oh yeah, today's school run was especially manic. You have a little one here?
Yeah, my youngest is in 3rd grade and my oldest is at the middle school.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, we've got 2 as well. We tried to get out of the house by 6:45, but today wasn't really one of those days.
I completely understand. Well, it was super nice to meet you. I've got to get going to work.
Okay, let's break down that conversation, highlight some of the most interesting, important speaking and pronunciation and listening tips to help you. So Kat started the dialogue this time. Can you go through that first line again?
Yeah. So I just simply started a conversation with somebody that I don't know very well, or I don't know them at all. They might be a stranger, but we're in the same place at the same time. We're both dropping our kids off at school. So I might just say a quick and polite morning. Hey, good morning. Just a calm, kind, polite morning. Feels super early today for drop off, huh? A really good way to open up a small talk conversation is to just share something that is happening around you. Oh, super early, right? Oh, it's always so early, right? Oh my goodness, I can't believe we wake up every morning for our kids, right? So, feels super early means it feels. We dropped off that subject. You've been hearing this a lot, I think, when we speak quite naturally, especially if we're just having quick small talk. Feels super early today for drop off, huh? Maybe it's darker in the mornings. Maybe it's winter time. It feels super early today for drop off, right? So the word huh at the end is kind of a fun word for drop off, huh? Now, this isn't the same as huh, which we use in the place of what and can be considered a little bit rude. When you say just a quick and simple huh, kind of like the Canadian or Northern a, or a little filler word to ask a question, you know? Do you agree? You know what I mean? This is just a simple word that we can use. Morning. Feels super early today for drop off, huh? What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, you can use that in the UK as well. We could do a whole video on how British people do this because it's very complicated and they're called question tags, but that's not this video. It would take too long. So I'll go on to my second line. Oh yeah, today's school run was especially manic. You have a little one here? So today's school run was especially manic. You have a little one here? So today's school run was. The word was on its own, was, in a sentence becomes was. Was. The letter W and Z, was. Today's school run was especially manic. Was especially manic. Again, we have another case where the last letter and the first letter are blending. So was especially. Was especially. The letter S on paper, but when we say it, it sounds like a Z. Was especially. So today's school run was especially manic. Manic means quite busy, chaotic. Maybe the kids were tired. They didn't want to go to school. I had to force them into the car. We were a little bit late. It was manic. I asked Kat a question. You have a little one here? You have a little one here? A little one is a child. I'm asking, do you have a little one here? But do disappears. You have a little one here? You have a little one here? You have. The Y joins the H, so yav, yav. You have a little one here? Again, very casually, we will drop the do. You have a little one here? You have a daughter? You have a son? You have an appointment? You have is do you have, but very, very casually. So altogether, oh yeah, today's school one was especially manic. You have a little one here? Okay, how did you reply to that line?
Yeah, my youngest is in 3rd grade and my oldest is at the middle school. Now, we mentioned this in the original video. My youngest and my oldest, I only have 2 kids, but I am using the superlative here. My youngest and my oldest. Then if we had a 3rd kid, we would probably say my middle child, my middle one. But it is very common, even if you only have 2 kids, that you have an oldest and a youngest. So my youngest is in. My youngest is in. My youngest is in 3rd grade, And my oldest is at. My oldest is at. So we're almost separating it into youngest tis in, oldest tis at. My youngest is in third grade. My oldest is at the middle school. The middle school, the reason we use the is because there's probably only one in my neighborhood. There's probably only one in my part of town. They are at the middle school. Let's continue with Mark.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, we've got 2 as well. We tried to get out of the house by 6:45, but today wasn't really one of those days. So, again, we've got another case of the letter T disappearing. Yeah, we have got 2 as well. We have got, we've got, we've got. So the letter T at the end of got just disappears. Yeah, we've got. Yeah, we've got 2 as well. So we have 2 children also. Yeah, we've got 2 as well. Again, the T, especially after get, likes to change. In another example, it becomes d. Get out of the house. Get out of the house. Get out of the house. So the T becomes a D. Get out. Get out. The next word is of. And of likes to change too. On paper, it's OF, but when you're saying it quickly, it sounds like a V. Get out of. Get out of. V is the of. So one letter. We tried to get out of. We tried to get out of the house. We tried to get out of the house. It's very quick. Of also transformed again. Today wasn't really one of those days. One of those days. One of those days. One of those days. So today wasn't really one of those days. So today was more chaotic, different, a little bit more difficult than usual. So altogether, yeah, we've got 2 as well. We tried to get out of the house by 6:45, but today wasn't really one of those days. And Kat, what was your last line?
I completely understand. Well, it was super nice to meet you. I've got to get going to work. I totally understand. I absolutely understand. I completely understand. This is just an extra way to connect with the other person. If you just said, "Oh, I understand," it doesn't really feel like you actually understand them. So we use this extra adverb. I completely understand. I know exactly how you feel is another way to say that. Well, it was super nice to meet you. It was super nice to meet you. It was super nice to meet you. Super nice to meet you. Often when we say very naturally, to meet you. Oh, it was super nice to meet you. It was super nice to meet you. I've got to get going to work. I've gotta means I have got to. In other words, I must. I have to. I've gotta get going to work. I've gotta get going to work. I've gotta get going to work. Get going to work. I've gotta get going to work. I've gotta get going to work. All right, good, excellent.
Yes, let's have another listen to the dialogue. Now that we've gone through it, you should be able to understand a lot more. So, here we go a second time.
Morning. Feels super early today for drop-off, huh?
Oh yeah, today's school run was especially manic. You have a little one here?
Yeah, my youngest is in third grade and my oldest is at the middle school.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, we've got 2 as well. We tried to get out of the house by 6:45, but today wasn't really one of those days.
I completely understand. Well, it was super nice to meet you. I've got to get going to work. Okay, so if you're ready for some speaking practice, you can respond to my small talk introduction. Now, I kind of asked you a question when I said, huh, at the end. So you'll be doing the response. In other words, you'll be speaking for Mark's part. We'll leave the captions on for you. Let's get going. Morning. Feels super early today for drop-off, huh? Yeah, my youngest is in third grade and my oldest is at the middle school. I completely understand. Well, it was super nice to meet you. I've got to get going to work.
Okay, well done. Now it's your turn to ask the questions, so you'll start the speaking practice this time. Oh, yeah. Today's school run was especially manic. You have a little one here? Oh, lovely. Yeah, we've got two as well. We tried to get out of the house by 6:45, but today wasn't really one of those days. Okay, very well done. That's number 7 done. One more to go, which will be episode 8. It's on the same theme of children at school. This time we're picking them up. So the kids have had their day at school and now we are collecting them in the afternoon to take them home. Kat will read her script from that episode first.
Noon pickup is pretty straightforward. I usually get to my kids' school a bit early so I can snag a good spot in the front of the car line. Most times I just hang out in my car, maybe chat with a couple of other parents if I see them around. When the final bell rings at 3:20, the kids all come streaming out of the building. When I spot my little one, she hops in the car with all her stuff and we chat about her day while we head home, usually getting back around 3:45. All right, now let's check out Mark's script.
For the afternoon school run, I tend to arrive a little bit early, then just wait around outside the front gate and chat with the other mums and dads until they let the kids out at about 3:15 or 3:30. I stand there at the gate and keep an eye out for my kids when everyone comes rushing out of the main entrance. I find my kids, let them say bye to their mates, and then we jump in the car. We do a quick "how was your day" on the way home, and then we're usually back home by around 4ish in the afternoon. So, once again, these are the scripts from episode 8. So, if there are any words or phrases there you didn't understand, you can go back and watch that wonderful episode and discussion there.
Now we're on to the naturally spoken dialogue. This is another conversation that feels like a very common one you'd have between you and another parent. Maybe you're both waiting to pick up your kids at the gate, or you're both in the car parking lot waiting for the final bell to ring. Let's listen to the dialogue. This first listen won't have any captions on the screen, so try your best to listen closely. Ugh, I like getting here early to find parking, but it's kind of warm today.
Yeah, it's definitely been warm lately. What grade's your little one in?
Oh, she's in first grade with Miss Smith. Oh, I think I just heard the final bell.
Oh, yeah, just spotted mine. Nice chatting. Have a lovely afternoon.
You too. Come on, sweetie, grab your things. Let's hop in the car.
Okay, so that quick dialogue is done. Now we'll go through it line by line. Kat started the dialogue this time, so any tips for that line?
I like getting here early to find parking, but it's kind of warm today. Remember that sometimes starting small talk is often just mentioning something around you. I like to get here early. We're both here early. We parked our cars, and it's kind of warm today. That's just what small talk is. So I like getting here early, getting here early, getting here early. I like getting here early, getting here early. So we have an ear and an The H is very silent here. Early. Getting here early. I like getting here early to find parking. but it's kind of warm today. Kinda is a bit. It's kind of warm today. Whew. It's a bit warm. It's a little warm. Feeling a little uncomfortable. Nothing like something where you feel a little discomfort to talk to another person about and see if they're also feeling a little bit uncomfortable. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, it's definitely been warm lately. What grade's your little one in? So, yes, yeah, it has definitely been warm lately. It's definitely been warm lately. So, a contraction you may already know. It has, it's. It's definitely been warm lately. It's definitely been warm lately is also another example where the T on it disappears. It's definitely. It's definitely. It's definitely been. Yeah, it's definitely been. Been, we discussed this in our last episode, been also becomes very short. Been becomes been. Been. So, it's definitely been warm. Yeah, it's definitely been warm lately. I then asked Kat a question. What grade is your little one in? What grade is? What grades? What grades? The is often gets eaten by the word before. What grade's your little one in? One in is another example where we have a preposition and the last sound of the first word joins it. One in, one in, one in. What grade's your little one in? So, what grade is your child in? I said little one in the previous script as well. What grade's your little one in? So, yeah, it's definitely been warm lately. What grade's your little one in? How did you reply to that line?
Oh, you asked me, what grade is your little one in? And that's also cheating a little bit on grammar because I guess specifically in the grammar textbook, you would have to say, in which grade is your little one?
The
So,
dangling preposition?
yes, and
Old
because
school.
we would say she's in a grade, right? So she's in first grade, she's in second grade, he is in a grade. So it's again, very, very common to use. We almost don't even consider it a rule anymore. This is just the natural way that we'd be speaking. So she's in first grade with Miss Smith. When I say with Miss Smith, that means that that's her teacher, okay? She's in first grade with Miss Smith. Just quickly for American grades, we go from kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So we use these first, second, third, all the way up to 10th, 11th, 12th grade. Okay, so we don't usually say grade 1. We'll more naturally say first grade. And then, I'm kind of surprised here. Oh, I think I just heard the final bell. I just heard. One quick thing before I miss this one. Miss Smith. Miss Smith. Ms. Smith. Very common to say for an unmarried woman, although I think this more modern days, some people just prefer Miss Cat over Mrs. Cat. Miss Smith. Mrs. Smith would mean that she's married, or Miss or Ms. It's kind of a cheat that we can say, oh, I don't know if she's married or not. We'll say Ms. It could mean Mrs. or it could mean Miss. It's kind of a cheating word. Ms. Miss Smith. Miss Cat. So let's continue with you, Mark.
Oh, just spotted mine. Nice chatting. Have a lovely afternoon. So, again, surprised. Oh, Cat heard the bell. Oh, I just spotted mine. I take out the word I. Just spotted mine. Mine is my child. Just spotted mine. It's an example where we're using the present perfect, but we are dropping two words. Just spotted mine is I have just spotted. But we take away I have. Oh, just spotted mine. Yes. You might also say, yep, just seen it. I'm looking. Just seen it. I have just seen it. just seen it. Or I have just been. Oh yeah, just been. So this is the present perfect in a super casual way. Nice chatting is a polite way to say it was nice to chat to you. Nice chatting or nice talking. So, oh, just spotted mine. Nice chatting. Have a lovely afternoon. Have a lovely afternoon. Have a lovely afternoon. Nice chatting. Have a lovely afternoon. Okay, and then Kat, what was the last line of your dialogue?
So now the last thing I'll say to you as the other parent, I'll say, you too. And then I'll walk away. And then now I'm talking to my little one. Okay, come on, sweetie. Come on, sweetie. Grab your things. Let's hop in the car. Now, sweetie is a term that especially Americans use for little kids, for your wife, your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend. Come on, sweetie. Sweetie. Especially for kids. Come on, sweetie. Grab your things. Grab your things. Let's hop in the car. Hop in the car. Hop in means to go into the car. Hop in the car. Hop in the car. Grab your things. Let's hop in the car.
Okay, so now we've been through the dialogue again. Here's your second listen, and I bet you'll understand a lot more this time. Let's go.
I like getting here early to find parking, but it's kind of warm today.
Yeah, it's definitely been warm lately. What grade's your little one in?
She's in first grade with Miss Smith. Oh, I think I just heard the final bell.
Oh, yeah, just spotted mine. Nice chatting. Have a lovely afternoon.
Oh, you too. Come on, sweetie, grab your things. Let's hop in the car. Okay, are you ready for some speaking practice? If you want to practice speaking, you can respond to my small talk. Now, this one isn't even really a question, but I'm just trying to say something around so we don't feel awkward. So we'll leave a short pause for you to respond to me, and don't worry, we'll leave the captions for you to practice. I like getting here early to find parking, but it's kind of warm today. She's in first grade with Miss Smith. Oh, I think I just heard the final bell. You too. Come on, sweetie, grab your things. Let's hop in the car.
Okay, and now for one last time, it's your turn to start the conversation. You'll start the speaking practice this time. Yeah, it's definitely been warm lately. What grade's your little one in? Oh, yeah, just spotted mine. Nice chatting. Have a lovely afternoon. Very well done. Okay, thank you for joining us for this very long review. And thank you for studying and working so hard and practicing with us in these classes. We do read all your comments as usual. So if you have any feedback or opinions about these review classes, please let us know. We will have a look at them and we do reply to everyone. After we've completed all of these reviews, we will come back with season 2 properly with brand new topics and brand new scripts and vocabulary for you.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you for our next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.